Sweepall Nation. We are going to go over the first time you get your PSM. Did the uncrating video, so if you haven't seen that yet, go check that out. You saw the uncrating video, you saw that we attached the tow bar already. One thing to note, you can see that the hitch here is offset. If you have a taller machine, you can flip this bar upside down, gets you a little more height there, a little more clearance. Back here on the back end of the hopper is your owner's manual. It's wrapped and tied here, so we'll get some side cutters, cut the zip ties, read the owner's manual, get to know the information in there. We're gonna cut our zip ties, being careful we don't cut the paper. The best practices probably come from the back side. There's your owner's manual. Make sure you read it, know all the safety procedures, and what to do when things go wrong. Okay, there's a couple things to be aware of. There's caution stickers around the machine. Pretty much keep your hands away from anything moving. So there's moving parts all the way around the machine. When it's operating, when it's moving, keep your hands out of there. The next thing you're going to notice is that the top of the hopper is not tight. That's for shipping purposes. So when you get your sweeper out of the crate, you want to take these Velcro strips and wrap them around the steel frame. Just wrap them nice and tight. This is very strong Velcro, so you only want to do this once. There's two on either side, and then there's one that goes across the front part. Now your hopper is complete. So make sure you're aware of the 4 grease points on the PSM. So there's one in front of the front wheels here. You can see it there, grease nipple there. There's also one back here on this rear caster on both sides. So there's 4 grease points total. They should be greased when you get them. Doesn't hurt to double check. Next, you take your handy dandy X-Acto knife and you just want to cut the saran wrap or the plastic wrap off of the engine. Be careful when you're doing this not to slice or cut anything that you're not supposed to. You'll notice when I unwrapped it that this little piece came out onto the throttle cable. This piece here, you want to take the nut off of it as well as the washer, and you can probably see already where it goes. There's a little hole here on the throttle stand. You want to put that in here, put your washer and your nut on the back, and tighten that up. And that is there strictly just to give the cable a little more support, so you're not going to kink that ever. Tighten this bolt up. This is a 7/16 bolt and nut, so you can grab your impact or your ratchet, whatever you have available. What you want to do before you get going is just double check that the fluids are all good. I got my wet clutch on this side. This is what operates the brush or engages it. There's a dipstick on this side. Pull that out. Wipe it down so you have an accurate reading. Put that back in up to the threads. Don't screw it in to check the oil. Pull that out and you can see there's a little notch right there. It should be full up to that notch. And this clutch only takes about half a liter of Honda 10W30. Next thing we want to check is our Honda engine oil. This little gray one here. So the same process, you want to unscrew it, wipe it down, put it in up to the threads, and you can see that our oil level is good. As long as it's halfway up the stick or so, that's good level. Now that our engine is fueled up and all the fluids are good, we're just going to check the operation of everything else, make sure everything's in good working order before we start sweeping. This is your dump handle. This will reach to the seat of your tractor or zero turn or whatever you're towing it with. So you want to make sure this is in good working order. Next thing we're going to check is our throttle cable. So this is a manual throttle model. So this is all the way in the closed position. This is your slow throttle, idle. And once you move it down till the first stop, that's full throttle. You don't need to push it anywhere past that. That's your range of throttle. If you opted for the electronic throttle control, There's a very simple wiring harness, and I'll show you a little bit later. It connects to the battery of your towing vehicle, and that switch sits by your seat. Is how to set the brush height and adjust that. So I'm going to show you how to adjust that and move it. This is a manual adjustment. This is the manual lever. You want to release the tension on this pin, pull that pin out, and you can set it anywhere you want. You might have to play with it a few times just to get the right height, but once you find it, you can just set it and go. Now, for normal cleanup, if you're doing leaves, twigs, that kind of thing, manure, whatever you're picking up, you want to set the brush so it's about 1 inch to 3/4 inch off the ground. Usually about the thickness of your hand. Now don't do this with when the brush is spinning. I'm going to set it right there. My hand is about 1 inch thick, so we're testing that right there. And with that, with your brush height set and your engine working well, you are ready to start sweeping. So hook up to your tractor and happy sweeping.